What's up, Hoopers? Back again with another basketball review video, one that I am excited to talk to you about. It's the Baden Elite Pro, one that I think is better than the Evolution. I said it, you heard it, let's get into it. Now first, 60 seconds. First, 60 seconds for all of you who don't have an attention span longer than 1 minute. The Baden Elite Pro is honestly a mix of the Evolution and a Nike Championship basketball. Let me tell you why. It feels like an Evolution. It plays very similar to an Evolution, but because the panels are a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, similar to like a Nike Elite Championship, it's going to have that same kind of feel in the beginning. Now, as you can see, this one has been broken in pretty well, and it's more like an Evolution as far as the size of the panel, so it plays a little bit more like an Evolution, but because of the panels being a little bit bigger, you've got great handle, great feel on the shot, similar to a Nike Elite Championship. So if you're looking for something that's a little different than an Evolution, but you don't want something way off a different direction than a Wilson Evolution, the Baden Elite Pro is a great choice. Now, for more details, a deeper breakdown, and more information about this basketball, let's get into it. I have a lot of great things to say about this basketball, and I apologize for how long it's taken me to actually do this review. I know I dropped a post on this basketball asking which one would you want to see out of this or the Spalding TF model. I wanted to talk about this one because so many of you use the Wilson Evolution as the bar for indoor basketballs. Not saying that it shouldn't be. I totally understand why everyone does that. It's the most common, the most used, and quite honestly, the most even as far as how it plays, regardless of skill level, basketball on the market. Now, I know a lot of you always ask, how does this basketball compare to the Wilson? How does that basketball compare to the Wilson Evolution? This basketball, in comparison to the Wilson Evolution, quite honestly, I think is a better choice than the Wilson Evolution. Only if you're looking to get something that's different, but plays very similar. Now, let's get into that. So, that composite leather that you have on the Wilson Evolution, when you first get it, that really sticky but kind of like slick feeling at the same time, you're going to get this brand new. Now obviously this basketball is broken in, and it's been broken in for a while. The reason it's like that is because I got this basketball at the run. Somebody left it at the run, and for weeks we were trying to find out who it belonged to, hoping that someone would come back and pick up their child. We're taking a break from the run. No one came to pick it up, so I'm just holding this basketball until we start the run again indoors, or until hopefully someone sees this video or sees the post on IG and can hit me up and tell me that they're missing this basketball. But at the same time, someone took one of our basketballs from the run, so I guess we're even. But let's get back into the basketball. Now, that composite leather that you feel on the Wilson Evolution, that breaks in really nicely, fairly quickly, you're going to get that with this Elite Pro. But because the panels are a little bit bigger and they're a little more raised, especially when you get it right when you first get the basketball, it's going to play a little different. It's gonna play quite different than the Wilson Evolution. Now, not to say that it's going to be way different, it's just going to be something that's going to take a little getting used to. Now, it's going to be a little easier to get used to than, say, a Nike, even a Nike Elite Championship, especially Wilson Official or the TF model, which are genuine leather basketballs. This basketball is going to be a lot easier to get used to because it feels very similar to a Wilson Evolution. It's something that most hoopers have probably felt and played with. Whoa. It is a basketball that a lot of us are used to using on the basketball court. That sounded crazy. But Outside of that, the playability of this basketball honestly is very common. You're going to get a very similar bounce. You're going to get a very similar touch as far as the weight for floaters, different layups, things like that. The dribble, it's not that different from the Wilson Evolution when you first get it. Now, this is kind of like, I guess this is the one point as far as separation. Now, if you're looking for a basketball that's a little more even and smooth all the way around early, right? Like, as you can see, it doesn't seem like the panels are that raised. If you were to see a comparison of the brand new basketball, it looks very raised. And I know that for a fact because this basketball happened to be the official basketball for the Washington State Championship tournament, right? So this was the ball that they were using. One of my players that I was training, he had one of these balls, right? He had one of these basketballs right when he got to the team, and we were using it while we were training. And it kind of got to this point, but when we first started using it, it obviously did not look like this. And the panels were a little more raised, which made it a little trickier as far as dribbling in the beginning, but the shooting was really nice. So overall, as you can see, it breaks in well. This is probably over about a year. These basketballs haven't been on the market for too long. They obviously haven't been out here for too long. Last year, I think, actually this might have been the basketball that was the official basketball last year, but I don't think it was 2 years ago. Either way, it's a brand new basketball as far as one on the market, and one that I quite honestly think is a great basketball. Personally, I've been using it a lot, not only to like really get a better understanding of how it is in comparison to the Wilson Evolution, because that was really my focus, was how does this basketball compare to a Wilson Evolution. Obviously, I'm going to give you a breakdown on the basketball, but so many of you are going to ask me about how it compares to the Wilson Evolution. Anyway, I might as well focus on it for the topic and just give you that comparison right away, especially if you're thinking about buying a basketball and you're considering the Wilson Evolution or you're considering something else. I would suggest this basketball if you don't want the Wilson Evolution but don't want something that nobody is going to want to use at the gym. Now, this may take a little bit of convincing, but I promise you it's not going to take a lot of convincing. So I recommend the Elite Pro basketball. This is how much it cost, because like I said, I didn't buy it. Someone donated it, and I'm hoping to donate it back to that person. Let me know in the comments if you guys have this basketball, what you think about it, how it compares to the Wilson Evolution in your opinion, and what other basketballs you would compare it to. And until next time, keep hooping, you know.